Hey guys, I'm Otto from Everything Amiibo, finally back with the top 10 weapons for tower control. Amiibo! Before we begin, I'm just going to go over some quick disclaimers. This list was compiled by my good friend Ethan, and the rest of the video was produced by me. Although this makes it a bit less personal, it's still our own opinion of the top 10 tower control weapons, and not a definitive list. Lastly, footage from Turf Wars for each weapon will be playing in the background. This doesn't at all represent any of the tactics or stats that I'm showing you in the video, it's just something nice to look at while you're watching. At number 10 is the Tri-Slosher, with the Disruptor sub and the Bubbler special. Slosher weapons are great for tower control because they basically cover the entire tower, and having 3 streams of ink can't hurt your chances. The Tri-Slosher performs better in areas with a lot of verticality where you can rain down ink on your opponent, and in a 1v1 it performs best at close range. If your opponent has more range than you, just use a Disruptor, close the distance, and take him down. And if you're in trouble, or you want to keep that tower, just activate your Bubbler. Number 9 is the Dynamo Roller with the Sprinkler sub and the Echolocator special. So Dynamo Rollers flick a lot of paint, and I mean a lot. Couple this with your Sprinkler and you'll easily get 4 or 5 specials every single match. You can also one-shot kill any opponent by rolling over them or just drowning them in ink. Number 8 is the Kelp SplatterScope with the Sprinkler sub and the Killer Whale special. This weapon has one of the longest ranges in the game and is able to keep enemies on their toes, knowing that a Kelp SplatterScope could be covering that area or the tower. Using your Sprinkler and half-charging your weapon can paint a lot of turf really quickly. This will nab you plenty of killer whales, which you can use to force your opponents off of the tower or to block a certain path so that they're forced to travel through your sniper's view. Number 7 is the Splattershot Pro with the Suction Bomb and Bomb Rush. Splattershot Pros have always seemed to be overshadowed by their long-range sisters, like the 92 gal. But this berry variation, now that's a game changer. Suction bombs are always great, especially in tower control, and the Suction Bomb Rush, well, that might be the best special in the game. When you're taking on an opponent, make sure you use the full range of the weapon. Grabbing a lot of swim speed in your equipment should help you retreat quickly. It's great against 52 gals or Tentateks as long as you stay out of their range. Number 6 is the 52 gal with the Splash Wall sub and the Killer Whale special. 52 gals are the perfect frontline kit, giving your team protection from enemies' fire, and the gun sports a 2-hit kill, which is quicker than those pesky splatter shots. You can also dominate the tower by throwing a splash wall on it, or by using your Killer Whale special, preventing anybody from hopping on board. Alright, now we're into the top 5. Don't take the ordering of these top 5 too seriously, they're all great weapons in their own right. In fact, all of these top 10 weapons could make it to the top if you play them right. Also, while I've got you here, there's a straw poll in the description of this video that shows all of the main types of Splatoon weapons. I'll be making a video very soon from it, with the top 10 all-time favorite community Splatoon weapons. So don't miss out on your chance to vote. At number 5 is the Heavy Splatling Deco or Remix. Splatlings are great for a ton of different things, like painting an area very quickly, suppressing an area, or taking out multiple enemies. Make sure you treat this class like a charger, with a slow charge up time and a long range. You can't just run into the middle of a battle with it. The Remix kit contains a Sprinkler for charging up your special even faster, but the Deco kit arguably has a much better special with the Kraken. Number 4 is the Luna Blaster Neo with the Splat Bomb and Splat Bomb Rush. Not only is the Luna Blaster one of my all-time favorite weapons for rank, it's also an amazing weapon specifically for tower control. You can hide safely underneath the tower and use your explosions to kill enemies on it, or you can hide behind the pole in the middle of the tower and defend safely while you're on it. Well, I say safely, but actually Luna Blasters are constantly in your opponent's faces and therefore in danger of dying. Make sure to equip quick respawn or swim speed to get back into the battle quicker, because you will be dying a lot as a Luna Blaster. In third place is the E-Litre 3K scope with the burst bombs and echolocator. The 3K scope has the undisputed longest range in the entire game. This gives it a huge advantage at keeping enemies at bay on certain more open maps, and strafing in and out of walls while aiming can give you a deadly defense. But as you can see, I'm not very good at the weapon. It requires a skilled hand to use it, but when you get it right, it can be the sole reason for a win. The burst bombs are great for defending when you find yourself in close range, and the echolocator special has its pretty obvious benefits for a sniper. The second best weapon for tower control is the Trislosher, with the Splat Bomb sub and the Inkzuka special. Let's start with the fact that in a close range 1v1, the Slosher can absolutely triumph any weapon, if you play your cards right. You can beat the 52 gal Tentatek, it doesn't matter, if the ground's bumpy and you fire your shots in the right place, 2 hits will kill every time. And this goes for hitting people on the tower too. As long as they're not hidden perfectly behind the spike in the middle, you can take anyone standing there out in 2 shots. The Splat Bomb is great for compensating for the Slosher's reasonably short range, and you can also use it to force enemies off of the tower. And since the Slosher spreads a ton of ink really quickly, you'll have plenty of times to use your special to take out snipers. And the number 1 weapon for tower control is the Tentatek Splattershot. I'd be very surprised if you didn't see this one coming. The Tentatek is one of the most commonly used, highly praised, and my own personal favorite weapon. It kills and inks very quickly and allows you a great deal of mobility, and that's the key here. It's an easy to pick up weapon, but extremely difficult to master. Using the mobility to get in people's faces, retreat, dodge side to side, and all sorts of other tricks is what makes this weapon perform amazing in tower control. And let's not forget its kit. As I mentioned earlier, the suction bomb is clearly the best sub-weapon for tower control. It also lets you bait or space your opponent to make sure you are controlling the flow of battle at all times. Since your gun inks at a reasonable rate and you have high survivability, you'll see a couple specials per match. Use these to take out snipers or the whole enemy team if you're in the right position. Although it is possible to win with 4 Tentateks, I wouldn't recommend it. In my opinion, a tower control team should have at least 1 Tentatek and 1 sniper. So make sure you're choosing a wide variety of weapons so your team composition ends up pretty good. So that's it. I want to say a huge thanks to Ethan for compiling this list and basically writing the script. Be sure to check out my top 10s for every other mode in Splatoon and a ton of other content on my channel. I also stream every Friday, so tune in for Get Good at Smash and Get Good at Splatoon. Oh, and don't forget to vote for your favorite weapon in the straw poll in the description below. I'll see you guys later.